I'm Amanda, and I'm a quantum healer and past life regressionist using the QHHT method developed by Dolores Cannon. As someone that gets to talk to people's higher selves or subconscious minds on a regular basis, there's one thing that I hear consistently across almost every single session that I have, and it's that the greatest way to connect with our inner selves, to raise our consciousness and our vibration, and to find the answers to our biggest life questions is just to meditate. And yes, I know that sounds so simple, it sounds almost too easy, but it really is such a great tool for elevating our consciousness and being able to ground ourselves, especially in times when we feel chaotic or we feel like our energy is a little bit cloudy or we're just having a little bit of difficulty finding clarity. Meditation is the key. And everyone's higher self says that. So it's one of those things where the doctor says, if you just drank more water and slept better, you would be healthier. And it really is like that. If you just meditated more, you would honestly feel so much better in your life and you would feel so much more deeply connected with your higher self, that inner intuition. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a really simple foolproof method to meditate. And this is a method that I use weekly, daily, whenever I have time. And it can be great for any skill level, whether you're new to meditating or you have a daily practice, it doesn't really matter. This will always work for you. Before I even say anything, I just want to say that there is no such thing as failing at meditating. I will often have clients that say, oh, I tried meditating, but I couldn't do it. It just didn't work for me. And the truth is, there's no such thing as not being able to meditate successfully, because as long as you close your eyes and take a few minutes to go inside yourself, you're already succeeding. You're already doing more than you would have if you didn't try at all. And the key to meditating, it's not to successfully have zero thoughts the entire time. It is actually just to sit there and be present with yourself for a little while. And that's how you can really ground and reconnect with yourself. If you have a really chatty internal dialogue, that's actually pretty normal these days. And over time, you will be able to reinforce this ability to quiet that chatty internal conscious mind and to be a little bit more silent with your practice. But at the very beginning, just know that that's not a failed meditation. That's just you practicing. It's a practice, right? So you're gonna need 2 to 5 minutes at the very bare minimum. You don't need to sit there for a whole hour if you don't have the time. As long as you can sit down for a few minutes with yourself, that is already a victory. Having said that, set aside a few minutes for yourself. You want to find a quiet and safe space. Those are the only 2 requirements. As long as there's quiet peacefulness there, and it's a place where you feel safe, where you feel like you can close your eyes and not have to worry about anything disturbing you or making you anxious, that's all that matters. And in your quiet and safe space, you're just gonna close your eyes and start focusing on your inhale and exhale. That's the very first thing you do. And do that at least 2 or 3 times. You're just narrating in your head your inhale and your exhale. And then you're going to find some sort of mantra to repeat to yourself over and over again. Now, this could be a mantra that you already know. It could be an affirmation if you have daily affirmations that you repeat to yourself, or it could be an affirmation that you make up for yourself in that very moment. That's what I do. So I will use some sort of I am statement. In that moment, it'll just come to me. It'll be something like, I am strong, I am worthy, I am resilient. And I will just repeat those words to myself over and over and over again. And this is a technique that is used by monks, and it really is incredibly effective because when you do this, you're actually doing 3 things. You are forcing yourself to focus on one thing, so it's just a really simple task that your mind can hyper-focus on. And you're also using it as a way to distract yourself from all of those other conscious mind thoughts that are trying to make their way in. And finally, you are using an affirmation to reinforce a belief that maybe you don't actually have in that moment, but the more that you repeat them to yourselves, the more real they become. So this is a really effective way to meditate. And what I typically do is I will repeat that affirmation to myself for maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll allow my mind to start to wander a little bit. It's not always a bad thing to allow your mind to wander a little bit. And this is what I consider to be my time to get answers from my higher self. So usually by the time, I've repeated the affirmations to myself enough, I have established a strong and clear connection with my inner self. And I am very deeply into that gentle state of trance that we go into when we meditate. And so at that point, I will actually start to explore different things happening in my life that I've been wanting to get clarity on. This is really great because this is when you have the strongest connection to your higher self, so you actually can get clear answers that are mostly free from all of those other voices that usually distract us throughout our days, like those fear voices, those critical voices, those voices that tell us confusing things that pull us away from our truth. So usually if I'm trying to make a decision on something, maybe I have some sort of major life decisioning happening, I will use this time in my meditation to explore how I feel and to see what direction my higher self leads me in. And usually I'll get some really clear answers this way. So that's all there is to it. It really is as simple as sitting down, closing your eyes, and repeating a mantra to yourself over and over again. You don't have to sit any special way. You don't actually have to burn any sage or incense. All these things can be nice, especially if they help to bring us to a peaceful state of relaxation. But you don't actually need any of those things. And keep in mind, it's always harder at the beginning. So when you first start trying this, you might have a harder time sitting there for a few minutes. You might find yourself fidgeting. You might find yourself counting down the time or just wanting it to be over. Just remember, it does and will always get easier. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.